Hi everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Kat.
I'm Mike.
And we are talking about bedtime. Let's go to bed. Good night.
No, but come on, I've had a really busy day. I just want to get in a little bit of fun before I go to bed. I've been working all day. I come home, I make dinner, I work a bit more. I know it's bedtime, but can't I just play some video games or watch TV or do something fun for an hour or two?
If I was your mom, I'd say no. But if you're an adult, I guess you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely. But should you do that kind of thing? Should you have fun before you go to bed, even if you didn't really have fun all day because you were busy? Well,
yeah.
No.
Well, kind of no.
Kind of no.
It depends on how much time you have, but the answer is kind of no. That's what our article's about today.
You probably will, but you probably shouldn't. Yeah, well, let's tell them the title. We've been procrastinating long enough. What's the title of our article?
Revenge bedtime procrastination is a real headache.
Yeah, revenge bedtime procrastination is a fancy way of saying having fun before you go to bed because you were busy all day.
I love how it's called revenge, as though you're getting even for something. Like, I'm avenging all the free time I didn't have.
Avenging all that work I did by having fun. Ha! Take that, work.
Yeah, gosh. So let's talk about what in the world is revenge bedtime procrastination and why it matters. Let's get to the article.
Reading.
Revenge bedtime procrastination is a real headache. You've been tired all day, exhausted even. You almost nodded off in class, and you've wanted nothing but to head home and get some sleep. Tonight, I'll hit the hay nice and early, you promise yourself. But when the clock strikes 2 a.m., you're still awake. You're playing with your phone, watching Netflix, reading a book, anything but getting the rest you need. Why are you doing this to yourself? It's called revenge bedtime procrastination. People with this habit are busy all day and delay sleeping so they can enjoy some evening free time. Therefore, they rarely get enough sleep and constantly feel tired. These days, people are often very busy with class, work, and school assignments. The only free time we have is when we're actually meant to be sleeping, explains one psychologist. Staying up late allows people to enjoy some leisure time. However, the long-term problems of revenge bedtime procrastination are bigger than the short-term benefits.
All right, so our article starts out by saying how you're feeling probably right now. You've been tired all day, exhausted even. So when we say that you're feeling exhausted, this basically means extremely tired. Usually it's so tired that it's hard to keep moving, it's hard to stay awake. You just want to lay on the couch and just like that. That's exhausted. Are you exhausted right now?
I'm so tired. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh gosh, that's pretty exhausted. Now when we say that you are tired or exhausted even, this is used to show that if one thing is true, you're tired, it can be taken even further. You're very tired, so tired that you're exhausted. Or you could say, you're so happy to see somebody, you're thrilled even.
Okay, so sort of showing that your emotions might go beyond the simple to the extreme or something like that. And then the article continues, you almost nodded off in class. Oh, wow. And you've wanted nothing but to head home and get some sleep. Wow, these are all signs that, yeah, you are really tired. If you're nodding off in class or nodding off basically anywhere that's not in bed, it means you should be in bed, because by nodding off, we're saying basically your head is nodding, doing that because you keep falling asleep. If you've ever been on the bus, you know, sometimes a warm bus, you start to sleep. You see the people on the MRT early in the morning or late in the evening or any time of day, really. And if they haven't had enough sleep, if they're tired, their head starts to nod or go down because they're falling asleep. So nodding off just kind of says, I'm tired, I'm bored, I want to sleep right now.
Yeah, or you're sleeping without meaning to.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
not
you're
in
trying to sleep, but you keep falling asleep.
That's right. If you're nodding off in bed, that's great. You just put down whatever you're doing and turn the light off, go to sleep. But if you're nodding off in class, not so good.
Yeah, so what do we do to help that? Well, the article says, tonight, I'll hit the hay nice and early, you promise yourself. So when we say hit the hay, this is a great way of saying go to bed or go to sleep. It's not talking about actually hitting some hay.
Hitting some grass?
It's because people used to sleep on beds of hay.
Oh, yeah.
Like people, it's similar to hit the road for leaving on a trip. You hit the hay with your body. So you'd sleep on hay for a mattress because it was comfy. Some still do in some countries, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so hitting the hay means laying on your bed and trying to sleep.
Okay, so you promise yourself, oh, I'm tired, I almost fell asleep in math class. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight for sure. But when the clock strikes 2 a.m., you're still awake.
That's a bad hour to be awake.
What happened to that? I'm gonna go to bed early promise and plan. No, now it's 2 o'clock in the morning, right? 2 a.m. And there you are, you're still awake. Yes, you're awake. You're not sleeping. That's basically what awake means. It means that you are not sleeping, all right? Because, well, I don't know what you're doing, but you should be sleeping. Now, of course, in the morning, you want to be awake. If your alarm clock goes off, you wake up and then you are awake. Your eyes are open, you can have a conversation, you're doing stuff, you're not asleep. Now, if you're in bed and you're reading or something, that's okay. That just means you're in bed. Being asleep, though, your eyes are closed, you're dreaming, that's the opposite of being awake. For example, those loud fireworks kept me awake until 2 a.m.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, they're just going off at the morning and I'm trying to sleep and the loud fireworks, ay-yo.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Anyway, so you promise yourself you're going to go to bed early, but you don't. You stay awake until 2 a.m., which I guess if you stayed awake until 4 a.m. the night before might be earlier. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's not good. So the article says you're playing with your phone, watching Netflix, reading a book, anything but getting the rest you need. So you're just, in bed doing a lot of stuff.
You're being naughty.
Except sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing nothing but sleep. Well, no, we're doing nothing but other things.
Exactly.
So that's our grammar point for today. That means we're going to go to it now and learn more about it. All right, when we use this grammar point, nothing but or anything but, these are phrases that use but to give an exception and take a new meaning when they're put together. So if you say, I want nothing but X, it means X is the only thing you want. But if you say, I want anything but Y, it means Y is the only thing you don't want. So an example, in court, people will say they will tell nothing but the truth. That means they will only tell the truth and nothing else. Another example, Johnny does nothing but play video games all day. That means Johnny only plays video games all day. Or if you say, I will see anything but that movie, it means I will see any movie except that one. That's the only movie I won't see. I don't want to see it. I'll see anything but that. So if you say you are doing anything but getting the rest you need, it means that rest is the only thing you're avoiding. Maybe you're in bed doing a lot of other things, anything except anything but sleeping.
So there you are. You almost fell asleep in class. You promised yourself you would go to bed early.
But you're
it's
not.
2 a.m. and you're wide awake. Not because of anything that's happening around you, because of what you're choosing to do. So here's the question. Why are you doing this to yourself? That's right, you didn't get a call in the middle of the night. There's not some emergency. It's choices that you make. So why are you making these choices? Why are you doing these bad things to yourself? Well, there's a name for this kind of thing. It says it's called revenge bedtime procrastination. That's a fancy way of saying you're choosing to do things that you shouldn't do before bed, especially. Now, what is revenge? Revenge is when you get back at someone after they've done something bad to you, all right? So if someone hurts you, you make a plan. You're like, ooh, I'm going to get that guy for what he did to me. Ooh, and I'm going to do this, and oh, it's going to be so great. So that kind of thing happens. Of course, it's not a good thing to do, especially when you're doing it to yourself. What are you doing?
Revenge against yourself?
Revenge against yourself.
You're only hurting
exactly.
yourself.
I'm too healthy and skinny. I'm going to start smoking and eat pizza every day. What are you doing? That's a terrible thing to do. So hurting yourself, basically, is what you're doing here. And you're doing it through procrastination. That's a fancy way of saying delaying things until the last minute. We all do this. You got that big exam. You're like, well, the exam's Monday. Today's Friday. I'll start studying Sunday night at 10 p.m.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, that's not really a good thing. We often procrastinate. We can use it as a verb because we don't want to do that thing, or we don't plan our time well, or we like working under pressure or something like that. But basically,
we're
when you're delaying to do things until it gets really kind of critical or important, that is procrastination. So you're getting back at yourself by delaying your bedtime until it gets a little bit crazy.
Well, I would also say you're getting back at all the time that you had to do other things with.
That's right.
Like, how dare you make me work all day?
Yeah,
now
busy life.
I want to do other things, and it's my choice.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, people with this habit, this revenge bedtime procrastination habit, are busy all day and delay sleeping so they can enjoy some evening free time.
Yeah.
Of course, we all want to have free time.
It's understandable.
Yeah, we all should have free time.
But it's not good.
Yeah, if you're putting off bedtime to do it, then yeah. So to delay something, delay sleeping, means to put something off till later. It's kind of like procrastinate, but it's not really the same thing. Procrastination is something you have to do, but delay is put something off till later, especially put off something on your schedule or put off something you should do. It can be a noun or a verb. If you delay sleep, it means you sleep later than you're supposed to. But a delay can also be a noun for something that makes you late, or the fact that you were late. So if you say to somebody, sorry for the delay, it means I'm sorry I was late, or I was sorry that I replied to you too slowly, something like that. So an example sentence for the verb, delay, we will have to delay the meeting since the boss hasn't arrived yet. So yeah, it means you'll have the meeting later than you were supposed to.
Absolutely. And the other big difference, of course, is that procrastination, it's a behavior, it's an action, it's something you choose to do. A delay can just happen, right? If the bus doesn't arrive, then the bus is delayed and you will be delayed too. But that wasn't your choice. Procrastination, though, that's always your choice, and it's often not the best choice. Therefore, for people who do this, it says, therefore, they rarely get enough sleep and constantly feel tired. That's why you're nodding off in school or whatever the next day, because you engaged in some revenge bedtime procrastination. Let's talk about this word, rarely. Yeah, so if you rarely get enough sleep, you will always be tired. And rarely and always are usually they're kind of the opposite. Rarely means not very often, only once in a while, only a little bit, 1 or 2 times out of 10. So if you rarely get enough sleep, you almost never get good sleep, all right? Because rarely means not very often or only once in a while. For example, Raymond is a health nut, so he rarely eats fast food. He'll go to a fast food restaurant maybe like once a year or something like that. He rarely eats fast food. Yeah, so Raymond is so healthy, he rarely eats fast food. He rarely skips a day going to the gym, and because of that, he always or constantly gets good sleep.
Yeah, so rarely and constantly, they're almost kind of opposites, I would say. So constantly means that you are doing that thing most of the time or all the time. It's another adverb. Without stopping or without a break. If you constantly feel tired, it means you're tired all day long or you're tired most days. It's a usual thing for you. Like you said, 1 or 2 times out of 10, I think constantly would be 9 times out of 10.
Or 10.
Yeah, or 10. 9.5 to 10. Yeah, so an example sentence for constantly. This student is constantly turning in his homework late. So he keeps losing points and his grade is dropping.
Oh, man.
Whoops. Yeah. So if you are constantly staying up late, rarely getting enough sleep, then it can be bad for you. But why are people doing it? Well, the article says these days people are often very busy with classwork and school assignments. Yeah, we have lots of assignments, don't we? When you become an adult, the assignments don't stop. They just change from school to work. Sorry. So an assignment is a thing you get assigned to do, which means you get told to do it as part of your school or work. Usually your teacher will tell you to do it, or your boss will tell you to do it. Right now, your assigned stuff, your assignments are probably your homework.
Yeah, but it could be a project or some kind of new thing that you're doing at your job. Basically, a boss says, do this work. That's your assignment of whatever kind it might be. But you have to do it, and you can't procrastinate too much because it must be done.
Yeah, exactly.
So it says back in the article, the only free time we have is when we're actually meant to be sleeping, explains one psychologist. Well, yeah, with a busy lifestyle, a busy schedule, lots of assignments, you do have free time, but it's those 7 or 8 hours at the middle of the night when you are actually meant to be sleeping. And of course, this is what most of us can figure out on our own, but it's also what psychologists tell us. Now, this is what a psychologist is. This is basically someone who is an expert in behavior, in how people act, in the decisions they make, in the ways that they think, that kind of thing. If you have problems in your life, if you're always depressed or worried all the time, maybe you can go to a psychologist and talk about how you think about things and the choices you make and the behavior you have, and the psychologist can help you out. It's kind of like a doctor, but basically a doctor for your feelings and your emotions and your behavior.
Yeah, a doctor for your mind.
Exactly. Not just for humans, though. As we read in the example sentence, Marlene's dog has been acting strangely, so she took him to see a pet psychologist.
That's interesting. I've heard of pet behaviorists, but I've never heard of pet psychologists.
Oh, it's so big in California.
Must be.
So yes, also it said there that you are meant to be sleeping. If you are meant to be, this phrase be meant to be, this is what you should be doing. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And the idea here is that maybe you're not doing this, right? So if the kids are in there playing video games and the mom comes in, what are you doing playing video games? You're meant to be studying, cleaning your room, making your bed, something like that. So you're doing one kind of action, you're doing some kind of activity, but really you should be doing another kind of activity. This is what you are supposed to be doing or what you are meant to be doing.
Right, so if you're meant to be sleeping, if you're doing other things, then maybe that's the only time you have.
Well, it is, exactly, but really you should be using that time for sleeping.
Right, yeah, and the article says staying up late allows people to enjoy some leisure time.
Right.
Leisure, we love leisure, but what does it mean to stay up late? Well, we've kind of been talking about it this entire time, but to stay up late means to not go to bed until very late at night, or just to stay in bed doing nothing, but not trying to sleep. So if you're doing that, then yeah, you're not trying to sleep. You're basically being in bed or being somewhere else in the house, and you're just doing other things, which is what revenge bedtime procrastination is.
Right, and staying up late's okay sometimes, right? Maybe Friday night, Saturday, Chinese New Year, people often stay up late watching movies or
if
playing
you know
games.
You can sleep in the next day, then that's fine, whatever.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to do leisure activities, is that why you're staying up late? Leisure is something that you are doing anytime you're not doing a chore or work or some other obligation, something you have to do. Your leisure time is the time you get to relax and have fun and do what you enjoy. So doing something in a leisurely way, if you're saying the adverb leisurely, means you're doing it in a relaxed way or without hurrying, without stressing about it. So leisure activities can be anything from, active things like hiking to like going out with friends, playing phone games, doing art. During my leisure time, I like to play video games, something like that. So an example sentence might be, During my leisure time, I like to walk around and take photographs of things in the city.
Okay, so yeah, your leisure times when you're not doing the important stuff, it's when you do your hobbies, your pastimes, your free time, that kind of thing. However,
of course.
But, here's the but, however, the long-term problems of revenge, bedtime, procrastination, staying up too late having fun, are bigger than the short-term benefits, right? The short-term benefits are like, yeah, finally, I had fun after this long and busy day. Okay, so that's a short-term benefit. It's good for you now, but only now. The long-term problems or the harm, the damage from being tired all the time after all those nights of staying up late, that's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah, and if you don't sleep, like if you have a long problem of not sleeping, it can actually take years off your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sleep is really important.
Yeah,
so that's all we've got for day 1. In day 2, we're going to talk more about kind of the science behind it and things like that. But for now, let's go ahead and go to our For You chat.
For You chat.
All right, so our chat question today. Do you think you get enough sleep? How could you improve the quality of your sleep?
Oh, I get 5 to 6 hours a night.
Ooh, that's too short for me.
I've discovered the power of naps.
There you go.
So I like to take naps if I can, but I would actually much rather sleep the 7, 8 hours, right? They say something like that. I would really love to do it. I have cats, they wake me up. I don't know. I have that kind of brain that I sleep quite well, but then once I wake up, I'm awake.
I understand.
And going back to sleep is really hard for hours and hours. So, but I've discovered that naps are, I used to not like naps, but now I've discovered they're okay. So how could I improve the quality of my sleep? Sleep longer at night when you should be sleeping. How about you?
I think most of the time I sleep pretty well. I usually get 7 hours.
Ooh, what's that like?
I know, right? And I even have cats. They just happen to know that when it's bedtime, it's bedtime.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wake, but I also like naps, and I also, sometimes don't get enough. Sometimes I'm not off during the day. So yeah, I think I still could improve my sleep. Last night I couldn't get to sleep for a couple of hours after I went to bed. I was just like, oh, I want to sleep, but I can't.
All right, well, you got to go to bed early tonight, so no revenge bedtime procrastination.
I'll do my best.
Well, we'll be learning so much more about this tomorrow, including some of the health effects of not getting enough sleep. It's probably going to be a little scary for certain people, like me maybe. But please come back and join us for that. We promise it will do you some good. So come on back for that. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
Vocabulary Review.
Awake. Tony is very tired today because last night he was awake until 3 a.m. Delay. Jenny had to delay her vacation as she had too much work to finish. Rarely. Michael rarely cleans his bedroom, so it is usually untidy. Constantly. Maggie is constantly having headaches, so today she saw a doctor to find out why. Psychologist. David feels sad every day, so he's going to see a psychologist for help. Leisure. Tommy likes to relax by playing golf in his leisure time.
智慧小补帖
Revenge. Procrastination. Exhausted. Assignment.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是www. www.english4u.net www.english4u.net